Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Very special guest today is James Bloomfield from San Diego's very own MNC Software. James, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Very pleased to have you. Now, James is the Chief Technical Officer, as I mentioned before, and I want to ask you, James, and I've got a whole list of questions, a whole raft of questions, but we'll start with the hard one at the beginning. Give us an overview of the MNC software, what it can do, etc. Give us an overview of what you provide.
Well, I'll start with the company. So we've been in business since 2008. We started out, I actually came from the satellite command and control world, so very familiar with real-time mission-critical operations. And in 2008, myself and a business partner decided, we can do this gig, and it was, we could do it better than the competition out there at the time. So we decided to form MNC Software. And we have 3 products currently. So we have our foundational product called Mosaic. It is a real-time monitor control solution for the broadcast industry. It's not specifically for the broadcast industry, but that's where its genesis has come from. So it's very capable in that market. It's the idea with Mosaic is that it can go out, it can talk to all of the hardware, software, anything that can provide information to the network operators. We can aggregate all that information together and then provide good insight, situational awareness, visualizations of the information, show them end-to-end the entire broadcast flow to make sure that all the devices are operating correctly within tolerances, within specs, and more importantly, the broadcast services that they're reliant on for their revenue are functional. The customers are getting a good, clean feed of that information and reacting when problems do happen, right? Because hardware is hardware, software is software.
Wow, that sounds incredible. That's an awful lot, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's us in a nutshell for Mosaic. We have two other products I'd like to talk about. The first one is Tesser. Tesser is a physical asset management platform, not to be confused with a media asset management platform. Although obviously we can do a lot of that, we're really more focused on those users who are still using spreadsheets today and know that they shouldn't be. It allows them to centralize all that information into a controlled platform. It allows multi-users to edit that information. It allows to do validation of that information. And as a standalone product, it's a very capable product. But where it really comes into its own, where it really gains its power is when you integrate that with the monitoring from Mosaic. We can ensure the information that is in that asset management tool, that inventory tool, is accurate and up to date. Because anything in this industry, you're only as good as the data that you have. And if that information is outdated or incorrect, and we all know, as much as we know we should follow processes, when the chips are down and the services are off air, you're going to do whatever you need to do to patch that equipment and get it back on air.
Absolutely, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean you go back and follow the process afterwards. So inventory drifts. The reality does not always reflect what your system of truth is saying about all the equipment that you have in the field. So having something that can provide that closed loop feedback to make sure that if it is monitorable, if it is pingable on the network, we can validate that it's there, the serial numbers are correct, the correct cards are in the correct chassis, anything that can help our end users maintain accurate information in those tools is key.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and then the final one that we're really sort of pushing here at NAB 2026 is Tapestry. Tapestry. Now, you can see a theme with our naming here with the product,
yes,
right?
Yes, I can, but talk me through it if you like.
So Tapestry is a dynamic workflow orchestration tool. So
wait, let me give you this. Dynamic workflow orchestration tool. Okay.
Yes. So a couple of years ago, we were approached by some big name players in the sports broadcasting space. And they have some unique challenges. Every weekend, they're standing up hundreds of services to support whatever occasional events that they have going on at that time. And there's a lot of effort that goes into planning those events ahead of game time. But as we all know, the reality on the ground, does not always reflect all of that diligent planning that they've done ahead of time. So being able to capture the workflow essence of how do you get media from point A to point B, so from the venues where the content's being generated through the remote production trucks. If you've got Remy production going on, it's all decentralized. You don't have centralized facilities anymore. Coordinating across all these different geographical entities, making sure that content is getting sent to the correct locations in a timely manner, that the content is going out in correctly formatted, the right variants, the right metadata, the right catalogs, the right manifest files for OTT services, getting handed off to the correct linear broadcasters to make sure they're getting all the right feeds. There's a lot of complexity there.
Huge amount, yeah.
And they're having to do that in a very time-pressured way. And more they're being asked to do it with less staff. So they need tools that will enable them to quickly respond to changing conditions in the broadcast flows, and make sure that they've got the correct resilience in place. So if a particular distribution path becomes unavailable, that the system can automatically switch onto redundant paths. Maybe they max out their satellite capacity and they need to go across a cellular network instead. All of that complexity is handled through the orchestration tool. So a lot of what we do is not only taking the sports broadcast schedule, so making sure that we know when events are going off, what time they are due to start, when do things need to be provisioned so that they're ready and live, ready for go time for the event. But also once the event is completed, and it may not always complete on time, right? So
yeah, of course, overtime.
You've got to handle overtime. You've got to handle rain delays or weather delays. You name it. In sports is a notoriously volatile environment. So making sure that we're not statically planning these resources, that we're dynamically, actively planning. So as event is extended and goes into overtime, that all of the correct resources are retained, locked, provisioned for the entirety of the broadcast, not until the schedule says the end time is.
Right. Okay.
And the reverse is true. So, for an NFL game, for example, you may schedule a 4 or 5 hour block of time going, well, a standard NFL game, although 60 minutes of field time does not equal 60 minutes in reality.
I understand the way that game works, yeah.
Yeah, so, in that situation, you may get, quite often the game will last about 4 hours, but occasionally, every now and again, you get a game that goes real quick, right? So it may end after 2 hours, 2.25 hours. Well, you've already got these resources spun up for the full 5 hours. Now, if you're doing cloud production, so you've got encoders in the cloud, you've got other resources in the cloud.
It's getting costly, right? It's getting costly.
So if you can, with obviously permission from the operator, say, okay, that event has come to an end, we can confirm that it's no longer active, then the system can automatically deprovision all those resources.
That sounds fantastic.
And save the end customer money.
That sounds fantastic. And tell me, is that something you've had for a while, or is that new for NAB 2026?
So we started down this path probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so we're actually now debuting Tapestry here at NAB 2026. It's been
Tapestry is new for 2020.
It's new. It's been in production for a while now. Obviously, we've been collaborating with some of the sports broadcasters to fully understand their pain points, to understand exactly what their workflows look like. Do we have every scenario covered? Probably not. But what we like to do at MNC Software is we like to work with our end customers to understand really at a roots level what their problems are, and make sure that we can adequately cover that in software. So we very much listen to what our customers are telling us, and it became evident quite quickly that the dynamic nature of sports broadcasting, as good as Mosaic is and as dynamic as Mosaic is, it wasn't the right tool for the job.
Right. Okay. So you need something new.
Tapestry came in, and really, although Tapestry layers on top of Mosaic, right? So we're using Mosaic as a foundational platform on which to build Tapestry, because at the end of the day, Mosaic's got all of that device integration. It's got that pedigree.
It's a stable platform, I assume. It's been around for a while. It's stable. You can you can rely on that when you're building something new.
It's incredibly stable. It's incredibly scalable because we scale to hundreds of thousands of devices that we're managing and monitoring on a daily basis. So it's a great platform to start from. It just didn't have some elements that were really required for sports broadcasting. And one of the big key points there is the ability to decouple engineering from operations. So what does that really mean in reality? So in a broadcast sense, operators are the ones that are managing these events on a daily basis. They don't need to know about the complexities of how to deal with the downstream equipment, right? They don't need to know whether it's an SDI transport, whether it's a 2110 transport,
Right. No, of course
whether
not.
it's a hybrid, is it going across cloud infrastructure, is it going across physical hardware pizza boxes? That's just beyond them. That's not what they need to do. What their focus has got to be on, is that service up? Is the content being generated and distributed accurately? Are the end customers getting the feeds that they want? Are they getting the metadata? Are they getting the camera angles? All the extra complexity stuff that they're putting into these broadcast streams now. Is all of that functional? Is there any degradation that I need to be worried about? So they've already got enough to worry about. They don't need to know about complexity. But if things do change, then they need a tool that they can reliably make modifications to that broadcast flow and not have to understand how things are tied together on the back end. Let the orchestration engine deal with that.
Yeah.
So that's why we decouple. So from a platform perspective, it's really interesting because we give the engineering teams the tools to build these foundational blocks, these tasks as we call them within threads. And a task could be simple as output to a CDN, or let's do a cloud encode, or very functional blocks. And then you can plug those blocks together to actually build out your workflow, your full end-to-end broadcast flow. But it's very easy for operators to understand, oh, look, I'm getting my content here. It's traversing through these encode platforms. It's going out to my origin server, my OTT platforms here. It's going to my linear feed here. It may be going on an RF uplink for satellite distribution. It may be going across cellular. I mean, they can see it's very easy for them to understand. It's not complex. So that we're enabling the engineering teams to build that complexity into the system, but abstract it from the end users, which are the operators.
Right.
And so what it means is they can use a system without having to know the details.
Yeah, which I guess is it's cost effective at the end of the day. This is going to enable you to, I mean, which of course every broadcaster is concerned about, right?
I mean, you don't want your engineering teams to have to be active on every event.
Indeed. Okay. Well,
it's a cost-effective thing. It's also a staffing issue, right? So, with rights providers, with league, sporting leagues now taking a lot of the broadcast in-house, they may not have the staffing to actually, handle the additional complexity of a broadcast flow. So. Yeah. Being able to give them tools to allow them to manage those broadcast flows without having to, ramp up the staffing accordingly, that's a direct OPEX cost.
Right.
So you're saving them money in terms of that, and it's a minefield when it comes to economics anyway. With rights holders trying to squeeze every margin out of every league and making sure they're trying to deliver it to as many platforms as possible. Anywhere where we can save. The money, the staffing, reputation is a big thing, right? So if something fails, you need to be able to respond to it quickly.
Yeah, and we all know everybody's aware of the disasters out there in the market. So but absolutely, reputation is very important.
Reputation is very important. So hopefully the tools that we're providing and we're putting out there into the world are there to make our end customers' lives easier and allow them to do more with less is really what the key message is.
That's fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Now, the big question, what about AI?
AI.
So, James, tell me about with MNC, how is AI affecting your development work, the company. Just give us an overview on what AI means to MNC and how it's affecting, possibly how it's changing what we used to do and what we do now.
Well, I mean, obviously, you can't go more than about 2 feet in NAB 2026 without bumping into somebody mentioning AI.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, obviously, we have to move with the times. We have to incorporate it. So, it's been very transformational for us. We actually not only have moved to an agentic workflow for our development, so it reduces our time to market for new features. It allows us to again do more with less in terms of resources, but it's now baked into all of the process that we use internally, and we're rolling out to new areas as well. So our professional services team are constantly looking to do new customer service integrations for various clients. Because we know the system inside out, we're already putting together tools to help our professional services team. So it's already used on a day-to-day basis within development. That's great. And that coding from an AI perspective is a largely solved problem.
So that's what I was going to ask. You're using it for coding.
We use it for coding, yes.
Already baked in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, these days, it can churn out code faster than any human can. Now, you still need the engineering there to make sure that what it's generating is useful, functional to the specification, etc. So there's always guardrails in all of this. But we are using AI on a daily basis. I'm a coder. I write code. That's part of my job. I mean, I look at more from the strategic standpoint these days. But our development team probably, if you go back 6 months, they were writing code on a daily basis. Nowadays, they are triaging code on a daily basis.
Wow.
But the primary generator of code is going to be AI.
Right.
So that's how we use it internally today within our organization. And we're constantly looking, as AI is evolving and becoming more capable, then we're already looking, one of the biggest, I would say bugbears, but a time-consuming part of what we do is integrating with all the various manufacturers out there in the broadcast world. And there's hundreds of thousands of pieces of equipment, all with bespoke APIs. Some are SNMP, some are REST, some are proprietary IP protocols. You name it. There's all sorts of different protocols out there, and it's time-consuming for our engineers to read, understand, distill all the important parts of that API spec out of the manufacturers and build drivers and integrations for that equipment. AI is perfect for that, right? So we're already working an agentic workflow to streamline our ability to deploy new device integrations, and we're allowing our customers access to those tools. So it doesn't then become the sole reliance of the professional services team to do this. We're enabling our end customers to be able to feed in a PDF of a API spec and have the AI generate a working driver.
And it makes a driver. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, these days coding is a solved problem for AI. So the training sets of the large language models, the frontier models these days, they can one-shot these things. They can deal with much more complicated things. So it's inevitably going to be a cost-saving measure. It enables us to integrate more devices quicker than we could previously. There's still that human validation, right? We can't escape that yet.
And I think that's everybody in all walks of life. You say it's fantastic, but you still got to double check. Yeah.
I mean, if anybody tells you, I just let AI do everything, then I would run away. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, as fantastic as it is today, it doesn't necessarily have the context of what's the purpose. Does what it generate fit with the business as a whole? Has it abstracted enough of that, or maybe we've seen that problem previously? Maybe we don't want to write 2 copies of the same thing.
Yeah.
There's in software development, probably getting a bit too techy right now. There's a concept called dry. Don't repeat yourself.
Right.
And AI is terrible at that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't necessarily know.
Exactly. That's what it does.
So you've always got to have that human in the loop just to keep it on the straight and narrow. Make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, that it's generating good output that is consistent with what your standards are. Make sure that everything's well documented, that it's maintainable. Just making sure that what it's putting out isn't. There's a nice term that's going around right now, AI slop, right?
AI slop, absolutely.
The last thing you want to be churning out is AI slop. So by keeping that human in the loop, we're making sure that what we're doing from an agentic workflow point of view is on point for what we need from a business standpoint. But to go further than that, I mean, obviously that's how we use it internally within our business. It allows us to accelerate time to market for new features, new elements of the system, which is great. That benefits all of our customers because all of our customers get the same feature set. So if we implement a feature for a new customer, and the faster we do that, the faster other customers can benefit from it as well. But at the same time, we're also looking at sensible ways we can bake in AI into our tool set. So Mosaic has already inside of it an MCP server. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol.
Okay.
What
Thank you.
what that means is it's a predefined mechanism by which AI platforms can use tools beyond the language model itself, right? So already today you can use natural language prompts. You can work these MCP servers into your normal agentic workflow. And the idea is we're not pigeonholing you to use one particular frontier model. You can ping your own model to the party. But what you can do then is bake it into your normal workflow, and you can ask questions of the system. So if you're running a linear broadcast and you get a flood of alarms, you can just ask the agent to say, okay, what do all these alarms mean? And it will do the legwork of figuring out what the correlation is between all these alarms and distill that into hopefully a more human consumable indication of what's going on with your network.
Okay.
Again, take it with a pinch of salt. It's AI. It can hallucinate and it can make stuff up. So don't treat it as gospel.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily react to it. But if it can solidify an idea, if it can point you in a direction, if it can help you identify root causes within a flood of alarms, which you may otherwise be overwhelmed by, then it's a tool that we have to use. And we already talked about using AI for the driver integration and how we feed that to customers. So that's another way that our customers can use AI within our tool set.
Yeah.
But bring it into the operational environment and have it look at all the information and make suggestions about what it's seeing in the data is a powerful tool. And going one step further, obviously we're showcasing Tapestry here at NAB 2026. Tapestry has a number of elements where we integrate with AI. So the first one is just from an operational workflow perspective. AI is great at taking natural language prompts. It's already got the context engineering that we've instilled in it, so that it can take a natural language of what you want from the system to do and turn that into a fully provisionable workflow without doing a lot of legwork from a operation standpoint. So the fact it can just take that and build out a operational workflow that could be run on a live sporting event is fantastic. It takes a lot of effort away from doing a lot of the mundane stuff of building these things from the ground up, because we've taken the time to build in that intelligence and build in those guardrails that says this is what a valid task flow or thread looks like. It can do a lot of that for you. It already has access to all of the building blocks, the Lego bricks that you can plug together to build a workflow. So turning that into an agentic workflow isn't a huge step, right? So in that case, you just need to bring in your API key or decide which model you want to use from the frontier labs. And then we already provide the guardrails to go off and build agentic workflows. So that's a very powerful thing. Part of sports broadcasting is interpreting the broadcast schedule,
Right.
knowing what things are going to be live when.
What's next? Yeah.
Yeah, what's next? What's coming up? What's supposed to be active right now? What resources do I have, and how do I best utilize those resources? We plug AI in there as well. Not necessarily to make autonomous decisions about how to best use those resources, but to make suggestions based on, we're running up to a crunch point. We're going to run out of, AWS HD encoders running on or GCP encoders, whatever it may be. We suggest, because of this is the best course of action.
Right.
So not necessarily taking the actions autonomously, but helping steer our customers to, given what the schedule looks like and the resources that are required to provision that schedule, where can they best utilize that? Where are the priorities? And if they need to unbook things or maybe move things around, how to do it with the least amount of interruption.
It's really refreshing to hear AI being described in such a positive way. I have to say, you hear so much negativity, so it's fantastic that MNC have found almost the secret sauce to it. And it seems it's very, as I say, very refreshing to hear that.
And there's nothing in our product that requires you to use AI. If you want to do everything manually, you're more than welcome.
Right.
We're just using AI to assist in doing a lot of the mundane activities that are required in order to stand up new services, to build new workflows, and honestly, it helps validate too, right? So making sure that even if it was a user-built workflow, is the information correct? Are there any obvious gaps? Are there any obvious errors, omissions within that workflow? So it can be used not only in a generative way in terms of building workflows, it can be used in a validation workflow as well. Does this look correct? Is it even feasible?
Right.
Are the right pieces of equipment being used in the right way?
Right.
So there's different ways that we can integrate the AI into the system. But like I say, at no point is it required.
Right.
It is just
not mandatory.
It's not mandatory. Right. It's there to assist. It's there to help. If customers choose to use it, that's great. That's what those tools are there for. If they choose not to use it, that's also fine by us. And just talk about just one other touch point that we've integrated AI into.
Okay.
So with Tapestry, as I said earlier, there's a operator component, which is the no-code, drag and drop, very easy to interact with workflows. But then the engineering element of it is where you need to build that intelligence, build that logic, build that Lego brick that you can then plug into other systems. And again, as I say, AI solved coding in the last 6 months. It's a largely solved problem. So those building blocks can be AI generated too. The same as where we were talking about professional services taking an API document and automatically generating a driver for it. We can do the same thing on the Tapestry side. We can take manufacturer documentation, inputs and prompt direction from the engineering team, and we can go off and build a task, an integration task that then can be a form of building block that then gets plugged into the workflow on the operations side. So, we always term Tapestry as a low-code, no-code orchestration platform.
I've seen that, yeah.
So the way we do that is through these building blocks, but there's still an engineering effort to go out and understand, what do I want to do with this workflow tool? What do I want to do with this orchestration tool? What's important to me as a business? What do I want to automate? What are my failover decisions? What's my resilience tolerance on a particular service? So there's a lot of upfront engineering effort to take a vanilla Tapestry instance and turn it into a bespoke instance for a given operator. Well, if AI can offload a lot of that burden from the end users, then your time to market, your time to innovate is shorter. So therefore, you can start utilizing the power and the benefits of Tapestry to run your events in an intelligent fashion quicker. So anything that we can do to help and assist the end users get to where they want to get to quicker, then we're always happy to investigate. And
Thank you, James, for that wonderful explanation. We can contact you at mncsoftware.com.
Absolutely.
Full range of all the products there. And thank you and good night.